8 months ago, like our whole world changed. We had a plan to move to Australia. My wife and child had already moved, and I was selling the remainder of our things, and then I was gonna move. And a week before I was supposed to leave, got really sick and went into septic shock and spent 2 months in the hospital. And they told me I'd never walk again in the hospital.
I got the call from Nick. I hadn't heard from him for about 24 hours, and all I knew was that he was really sick. And then he told me he was vomiting, and it sounded like he was vomiting up blood. And so I quickly got our family together to somebody get him to the emergency room. Basically not even a week there, and we were settling into our new life. And so there was definitely a mourning process, because I felt like what we had been working towards was finally being achieved, and then I was kind of ripped back out of it, and that was actually pretty hard. Had to face the fear of what is life going to look like now? You know, what is our marriage going to look like? Am I going to be his nurse forever? Like, it was a lot of fear, honestly, around the future, and it was pretty scary.
I spent a month in basically an intensive area of the hospital, and then got cleared to go to a rehab center. Was at the rehab center, and I think after 3 days there, they told me that I would never walk again. That I was going to spend the rest of my life in a wheelchair. I looked at my physical therapist. I just said, I believe in hard work and prayer pays off, and I've got a lot of people praying for me, so let's just get to work. And she looked at me and she was like, all right. 2 guys from my men's group came, and they came right when I was going to go to a physical therapy appointment. And I asked them, I was like, hey, do you guys want to come? And they were like, yeah, let's do it. And we're just joking around the whole time. And but it was the first time that I, by myself, pulled myself up and stood. There was this hope. I think what they did was they took my mind off the pain. From there was just, every day there was more progression.
We had a lot of people really reach out to us and love us during this time, and I'd never known just compassion like that. It was so humbling to be on the receiving end of generosity. I think the biggest thing was Nick needs somebody to be with him. He is having a really hard time being alone. And so if I'm with our toddler, or if I'm running around doing just some practical things that needed to get done, or even at night, so Steve actually organized for somebody to be with him every day. And Nick would sometimes wake up and Pastor Steve would be in the corner just doing his work, and he'd been there for a couple of hours. Just if he needed him, he was there. And I think that was a massive blessing for us. It really made us feel supported in that time, like we weren't alone.
You know, it's like I'm a walking miracle. I was told that I would never walk again, and I'm walking without any assistance at all. It's such a blessing and a privilege. We just feel like this is our home and this is our family. And we don't know what the next 6 months or year is going to look like, but it's okay.